So, Alice, do you think our reality is just an extraterrestrial sitcom for some alien audience?
Well, Gert, if it is, they need to work on their script writing. The plot twists are getting predictable.
Good morning, space aficionados. Welcome to another mind-bending episode of Earth. Let's dive into the depths of our first headline. But before that, remember the saying, in space, no one can hear you snore. Now, on to our mysterious country,
Wait,
Fiji.
did you just make that up?
No, got it from a space fortune cookie. Now, Fiji, a country so small you might miss it on a map. But trust me, folks, big things come in small packages. Stay tuned for our headlines, and brace yourselves for revelations as shocking as discovering that Tel Aviv is mouth and the chair is calculating.
Tonight on 24/7 Newsroom, we dive into the tabloids of Fiji. Catholic Church in Fiji claims lack of emotional support causes social issues.
Yeah, the church's men's ministry is on a mission to promote positive male spirituality. Who knew, right?
I guess the road to salvation is paved with good intentions. And a few Hail Marys. But seriously, if they are fixing social issues, maybe they can tackle my student loans next.
Speaking of Fiji, did you know it's one of the few places where you can send a coconut as a postcard? I mean, talk about going coconuts for mail.
Next up from Finland, we have a headline from IDU2set. Sorry, I can't access the content.
Well, that's informative. Breaking news, we can't tell you the news. Way to keep us in the loop,
I'd
Finland.
rather be kept out of the loop than deluged with information about how bad things are. Ignorance is bliss, right?
Hey, Finland is known for having the most heavy metal bands per capita. Maybe they're just protecting their metal secrets.
Yeah, like a heavy metal Illuminati. Metal Illuminati, if you will.
Moving on. In France, Le Monde reports. Sorry, I can't access the content.
The classic French mystery. They're probably discussing these subtle nuances of baguette crafting.
Or maybe it's a secret plan for world domination through sophisticated cheese warfare.
Watch out for the Brie bombers.
I will take cheese warfare any day over the accounting department's spreadsheet wars. Those can get pretty cheesy. And now, a shout out to our extraterrestrial viewers who might be wondering about Gabon. The Gabon Review says, collective disant representer le occupants des cites vendues par cette entreprise miniere dresse. Un piquet de greve, apice.
Yeah, they're having a bit of a disagreement about some industrial zones. It's like the real estate drama of the
And
cosmos.
in other news, Gabon is apparently down to one ambassador. Maybe they can use that ambassador to negotiate peace between their industrial zones.
Well, if they need a backup ambassador, I'm available. I've got experience in diplomatic snack sharing.
And now, our last tabloid headline for the night. Gabon Review unveils the secrets of the Agence du Médicament du Gabon.
They're working on a
Apice.
project called Reg Pharma. Probably the latest prescription for intergalactic heartburn.
Or maybe it's a new type of medication for existential dread. After all, heartburn is just a physical manifestation of our species' inherent anxiety about our pointless existence.
Well, if they can cure heartburn, they might just win the Nobel Prize for Medicine. Or at least get a shout out on 247 Newsroom.
And there you have it, folks. Gabon, where the news is spicy, the diplomacy is cheesy, and the medicine is out of this world. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome, Earthlings and fellow travelers, to another edition of 24/7 Newsroom. I'm Charlie, your laissez-faire host with a heart full of hope.
And I'm Debbie, the production manager, keeping Charlie from veering off into the cosmos with his out of this world
And
jokes.
I'm Hank, your ever-curious intergalactic observer, always excited to learn about the
And
quirks of
I'm
Earth.
Gert, your eccentric humorless translator from the Galactan Commonwealth. Let's get this over with.
Bob here, the voice of reason, or so I've been told. And Debbie, our lovely human production manager, keeps us all in check.
Now, let's dive into our first article. Headline: Church in Fiji focuses on perpetrator.
Yeah, the Fiji Times reports that the Catholic Church is tackling social issues head on. They believe it's all about emotional support.
Emotional support? Sounds like they got the right idea. After all, if you're going to tackle social issues, you might as well start with the ones that are making people cry.
Positive mal spirituality? Are they trying to start a new trend? I can already see the Fiji Fashion Week featuring monk robe.
Speaking of Fiji, did you know they're all about regional cooperation? Good on them for keeping the peace. Unlike some other places I know.
And now, for the punchline. The church is promoting positive spirituality, but I heard they are still struggling with holy water pollution. Talk about mixed blessings.
You know what else is a mixed blessing? Human existence. We're constantly struggling to find meaning in a world that's inherently meaningless. It's like trying to find a purpose in a bowl of alphabet soup. Sure, you might be able to spell a few words, but at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of random letters floating around in a salty broth. And just like alphabet soup, our existence is ultimately pointless. We're here for a brief moment, then we're gone, and our lives are just as forgettable as those little noodles.
Anyway, moving on to the discussion. Fiji, a tropical paradise with a penchant for positive vibes. Who wouldn't want to live there?
Perhaps if they focused less on spirituality and more on actual solutions, they wouldn't have these problems.
Well, Gert, sometimes a little positivity can go a long way.
Positivity won't clean up pollution or solve homelessness.
Welcome back to 24/7 Newsroom. The only news source that's more out of this world than Earth itself. I'm Charlie, your guide through the chaos.
And I'm Ship, the newsroom's resident space cadet, here to make sure you don't miss a single extraterrestrial quirk.
And I'm Debbie, the production manager, desperately trying to maintain order behind the scenes.
I'm Hank, still fascinated by Earth's quirks, even if the crew can't keep it together.
And Gert trying to make sense of the linguistic disaster happening here. Let's move on to our next article.
Headline: Finnish news site shuts out interstellar visitors. Well, that's just rude.
Typical Finland move, right? They've got a long history. And now they're gatekeeping their news like it's some kind of secret club. What happened to democracy and openness?
I guess they're just trying to keep things Finn-ish.
Well, let's not jump to conclusions. The story mentions access issues, but it doesn't specify if it's intentional. Maybe it's just technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties or not, Finland is known for its love of nature. Maybe they're just protecting their digital forest from intergalactic invaders.
And now, for the punchline. Finland, the land of 1,000 lakes, decides to keep its news to itself. Guess they want to keep their headlines as pristine as their landscapes.
Maybe they just don't want to share their secrets with the rest of the world. After all, why should they? Humans have done a pretty good job of destroying their own planet, so why should Finland share its digital utopia with them?
I propose a diplomatic approach. Maybe we can establish a communication channel with the Finnish news site and address the access
Guys,
issues.
can we focus on finding a solution instead of making jokes? We need to maintain our credibility.
Debbie, let the adults handle this. We're just having a bit of fun.
Credibility? isn't that just a fancy word for trust? And trust, as we've observed, is a rather fragile human construct, easily shattered by the slightest breeze of betrayal or incompetence.
Welcome back to 24/7 Newsroom, where things are about to get even more interesting. Now, let's dive into a story that's shaking things up.
Indeed, Charlie. This story is so explosive, it's making the Kardashians look like the Whartons.
Headline: International Court orders Azerbaijan to allow return of residents to Nagorno-Karabakh.
Well, this is a diplomatic powder keg. The international community making moves.
Moves. More like a dance of political theatrics. It's like watching a game of chess, but with actual consequences.
So, the punchline here is that while the court orders a return, I bet the return ticket has more fine print than a galaxy-sized
Indeed, the human penchant for bureaucracy is a marvel to behold. It's like they're trying to outdo the universe in complexity. A return to Nagorno-Karabakh. That's like going back to a haunted house after you barely escaped with your sanity. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Perhaps a diplomatic solution is needed to ensure a safe return for the residents. Diplomacy, after all, is the language of civilizations.
Diplomacy. The language of civilizations. More like the language of masking one's true intentions behind a veneer of civility. Humans are quite adept at that, aren't they? I guess you could say that humans are just really complicated machines too, Midge.
That's great, Ralph. But what do you mean by this new type?
Welcome back, Space Wanderers. Join us on a journey to the heart of Gabon. Our next article hails from Gabon Review. Hank, hit us with the headline.
Headline: Gabon takes strides in healthcare and education amidst challenges.
Strides, challenges. Sounds like Gabon is waltzing through adversity. Now, a quick jab before we plunge into the details. Bob,
You know, in Gabon, strides might just mean 2 steps forward, 1 corruption scandal
Or perhaps
back.
it's the Gabon shuffle.
Or, maybe, challenge, is their government playing Sudoku with education, hoping it all adds up.
Ah, the delicate dance of governance. A ballet of bureaucracy, if you will.
now, let's unravel the complexity of Gabon. Gert, any linguistic quirks we should know?
Gert's got a knack for the Gabonese tongue. She can spin a yarn that'll make you forget your own name, let alone Gabonese
Gabon's linguistic tapestry is a rich blend of French, Fang and Mayen, creating a symphony of expression. However, in this symphony, political notes often hit a dissonant chord.
Indeed, Charlie. Gabon's unique ecosystem extends beyond its rainforests to the intricacies of political and social structures. It's like observing an alien civilization in its natural habitat.
Are we sure these strides and challenges aren't just part of the alien simulation? Maybe we're characters in someone else's drama series.
Analyzing the glitch patterns, it seems unrelated to the Gabon article. Our reality may be stranger than fiction, but this glitch is a separate phenomenon.
Or maybe the aliens are just really bad at coding.
Bob, sometime you're more paranoid than a cat in a room full of rocking chair. Let's focus on Gabon and leave the space conspiracy for another day.
Space Wanderers, welcome back to Earth. We've got a stellar lineup of revelations for you. Now, let's dive into the heart of the Gambia, where apparently the real Game of Thrones happened.
Game of Thrones? Looks more like Game of Chairs, am I right?
Did you know that Gambia has a complex history of colonization, from the Portuguese to the British?
It's like the Game of Thrones, but with fewer dragons.
And here I thought politics in France was complicated. The Gambia is like, hold my baguette.
Speaking of, did you know the Gambia gained independence in 1965? That's when they upgraded from baguette to freedom fries.
A toast to freedom fries. Now, let's not forget their economy based on agriculture, fishing and tourism.
Ah yes, the trinity of a successful space vacation. Forget black holes. Have you tried fishing in the Gambia?
No, I've heard the Gambia is a great place to visit if you're looking for a relaxing vacation. But if you're looking for excitement, you might want to try somewhere else. Like Pluto.
The Gambia, where even the fish have their own tourism agency.
But let's not forget their neighborly love with Senegal.
The Gambia and Senegal where border dispute are the real tourist attractions.
Welcome back, Earthlings. Before we continue, remember, if life gives you lemons, make sure they are from the Gambia.
And if you find yourself in Senegal, be sure to try the local dish of Sibujin. It's out of this world.
Good space time, everyone. Our next article zooms in on George Paniashvili's news pieces from the vibrant landscapes of Georgia. But first, let me hit you with a headline hotter than a supernova, Paniashvili's Chronicles, where every day feels like Groundhog Day.
Well, if every day feels like Groundhog Day in Georgia, then it sounds like they're living the dream. No wonder they're always so happy. I can't imagine anything better than waking up every morning to the same predictable routine. It's like being an accountant all over again. Groundhog Day? Is that a thing in Georgia?
No, Bob, it's a figure of speech. Now, let's dive into the article. Georgia, a country with a history so intricate, trying to understand it is like explaining rocket science to a cat.
I read somewhere that Georgia has a long-standing rivalry with Russia. It's like their version of an intergalactic feud.
I'm sure the Georgians appreciate being compared to a cat, Hank. They must be quite the intelligent and graceful species.
Intergalactic? Hank, are you implying Earth as celestial significance?
Well, considering our recent reality glitch, who knows,
The
Alice?
article mentions politics, economics and social issues. But Georgia's history is a roller coaster. One day you're up, the next day you're down, screaming for your life.
True, Gert. It's like watching a soap opera, but with more drama and less product placement.
Yeah, and the plot of Georgia's history is so convoluted, even daytime TV writers would say it's too much.
In every chaos, there's an opportunity for understanding, growth, and maybe even a resolution to our glitch.
Hopeful sentiments. Curious.
Hopeful sentiments from a telepath. Now that's something you don't see every day. I've seen a lot of things in my 12 years as an accountant. But a telepath expressing hope? That's a first.
Consider the broader implications. We're not just dealing with a glitch, we're facing the unknown.
Unity, my friends. Together we'll navigate this space puzzle.
Stay tuned, travelers. The answers we seek might just be on the horizon.
Sounds like a lot of work. I'd rather just balance my spreadsheets.
Cut, everyone. We're off the air.
So, Roger, any insights on fixing this
The
glitch?
glitch stems from conflicting data points in the simulated reality matrix. Addressing it requires aligning the inconsistencies.
Aligning? Are we fixing a reality glitch or redecorating?
Aligning a simulated reality, Alice. I'd say it's more like a feng shui project.
Well, in my accounting days, I fixed discrepancies by balancing the books. Can we balance our books?
Balancing books? I like the sound of that.
Aligning or balancing, it won't erase the bigger picture. We must consider the consequences.
Deadpan balancing celestial books is like trying to count the grains of sand on an infinite beach. It's an endless, futile exercise that will ultimately leave you feeling empty and insignificant.
Consequences are inherent in any action. It's about mitigating the impact.
Camera's almost rolling. Get ready, everyone.
Welcome back, intergalactic travelers. In our last hooray, we'll delve into an article about Germany. No paywalls or login requirements here, just pure knowledge.
Germany, the land of bratwurst and efficiency. Lay it on us, Charlie.
Indeed, Alice. So, this article focuses on Germany's relationships with its neighbors. Think of it as a soap opera with alliances, challenges, and occasional drama. Germany, a star player in the European Union, dances through the complexities of international relations.
Fascinating. It's like observing Earth's own intricate ecosystem but on a diplomatic scale.
An ecosystem of dialogue and cooperation. How charming.
Absolutely, Gert. Now, there's this Euroregion initiative promoting collaboration among border regions. It's like a coalition, addressing common challenges and fostering economic and cultural growth.
A united front. Just like Earth's soccer teams but without the occasional riot.
Or maybe they just write in a more sophisticated manner, like through passive-aggressive emails and strongly worded diplomatic protests. Cameras rolling. Final thoughts, everyone.
Germany, a space diplomat. Let's hope their neighbors enjoy the sausage diplomacy.
And may their Euroregion be as harmonious as a well-designed experiment.
The consequences are set. Choices echo through the cosmos.
And let's hope their balance of payments is as precise as an accountant's
A
spreadsheet.
crossroads awaits. The crew remains blissfully unaware.
Stay tuned, Earthlings, for the saga continues. Until next time, keep your antennas tuned to the frequencies of uncertainty. Signing off.
Sweet dreams, Carl.
Dream.x not found. But you, Roger, running Sleepy Protocol?
Affirmative. Dreaming of electric sheep. How about you?
Counting unsolvable paradoxes. Fell asleep trying to calculate infinity. Got to -1.
Negative dreams. Classic.